Once upon a time in Persia, there was a beautiful young Jewish woman named Esther. She lived with her cousin Mordecai, who had raised her because her parents had died. They lived in the city of Susa. The king of Persia, King Xerxes, wanted a new queen because his queen, Vashti, had disobeyed him. He held a beauty contest to find the most beautiful woman in the land. Esther, who was very beautiful, was taken to the king's palace to compete. Mordecai told Esther not to reveal that she was Jewish. Esther found favor with everyone, including the king. King Xerxes loved Esther more than any other woman, and he made her his queen. Mordecai, who worked at the king's gate, discovered a plot by two of the king's officers to assassinate King Xerxes. Mordecai told Esther, and Esther reported it to the king, giving credit to Mordecai. The king investigated the report and found it to be true, and the officers were executed. This event was recorded in the king's book of Chronicles. Meanwhile, Haman, a high-ranking official in the king's court, was plotting against the Jews. Haman hated Mordecai because Mordecai refused to bow down to him. Haman convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree to kill all the Jews in the empire on a specific day. Mordecai learned of the plot and urged Esther to use her position to save their people. He told her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther was afraid to approach the king without being summoned, as it could result in her death. But she decided to risk her life to save her people. Esther asked Mordecai and all the Jews in Susa to fast and pray for 3 days. After 3 days, Esther put on her royal robes and went to see the king. King Xerxes welcomed her and asked her what she wanted. Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet she had prepared. At the banquet, the king again asked Esther what she wanted. She invited them to another banquet the next day. That night, the king could not sleep, so he ordered the book of Chronicles to be read to him. He was reminded of how Mordecai had saved his life. The king asked what honor Mordecai had received, and found out that nothing had been done. The next day, at Esther's second banquet, Esther revealed Haman's plot to kill her people. She said, "If I have found favor with you, O king, and if it pleases your majesty, grant me my life, this is my petition. And spare my people, this is my request." She told the king she was Jewish and that Haman wanted to kill her and her people. King Xerxes was furious with Haman. He ordered Haman to be hanged on the very gallows that Haman had built for Mordecai. The king then issued a new decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. On the appointed day, the Jews fought back and defeated those who wanted to harm them. Mordecai was honored by the king, and he became a powerful man in Persia. The Jewish people celebrated their deliverance with a festival called Purim, which is still celebrated today. Through courage and faith, Esther saved her people, and she is remembered as a hero in Jewish history.